Hello, everybody. My name is Beth, and today we're going to go through some additional tools that are available in the Classroom Booksource program. So, this is what I use to check out my library books, and I have all my students enrolled in my class. But there's a lot of other additional resources that I have available should I choose to use them. Now, for this, you need to be in the teacher section. When you're in the teacher section, your default is being in the dashboard. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any data in here from my school year because I've already deleted my class from the year. So until I add in my new students and start checking out books, I don't have that data for you. But I could actually see if there's any overdue books, reviews to approve, books checked out, students with books. It's just a quick little default for you. And you can see your library book distribution. So I have a heavy fiction section, not as big nonfiction. However, there's a whole lot of books that aren't actually labeled in the system. So this is something if I wanted to go back and label my books, fiction or nonfiction, so that way I can kind of see my distribution of the books so I know how to make buying purchases later on. Okay, so some of the things here on the side, we've already talked about the library, the student management. So today let's talk about reports. So these are just some different reports that are available to you where you can kind of see how your book distribution is based on either your guided reading level, Lexile, AR, whatever it is that your school uses to help you. Those are the kind of reports you might want to look at. So what I like here are overdue books or current books checked out. So you can see students that I don't necessarily have. I have mine as overdue. However, I don't necessarily have a due date. This is just for me to make sure I keep tabs on the students that are taking a really long time with the book to make sure that they're actually reading. So it just lets me keep an eye on those. I also can do a full student checkout detail. So that way I can use that when I'm conferencing with students to talk about past books that they may have read. Now down here, the other thing I wanted to really make clear, teacher resources, I don't necessarily use. However, there's some additional information in there that might interest you. Now, title recommendations, this is once again, I haven't used it in there, but you can actually have and purchase from Classroom Booksource some popular books that they do have at a discount. So they will recommend some to you. But let's go into your account because this is where you can set up some of your own preferences. And okay, here are some good preferences that you may be interested in. Now, there's a spot where you can have students rate the books and rate it so that way other students can actually see. I don't use this feature, but if it's something where you want to help build that dialogue among students, you can definitely do that. You can track or choose not to track overdue books. Now, this is up to you as to how many days or weeks. I have mine set in at 1 week just so I can actually see, and it helps me keep an eye on students that might have a book for quite a bit of time. If you have multiple copies, this lets you make sure that you're choosing correct copy. I just kind of keep it at the default. Now, for the USB barcode scanner, when I attach mine, I don't actually change it and click this button. You can use it without clicking or changing any of the requirements. If you find that students are kind of going through and getting into each other's accounts when they shouldn't be, you can actually have them be required to put in a password. And then the last thing is to choose how many books you want them to be able to have at a time. I put into some years I've tried different things, and I find I like two. One, I like them to maybe have one at home, one at school. I've also gone up to 5 where we've had book bins, but I found that just became too much of a management. So even though I let them have more books when they're in the classroom, in their book bins, The only ones that they actually check out are the ones that take home. So some other things in here that might interest you, you can actually track them by genres. Now I tried to do this and I just have so many books. It doesn't work for me. But if you want to go through and actually show what section the books are in, you can actually put that in. So if you have like a certain author or genre, you can place where that book can be found, so it's a little bit easier for your students to find. And then you can save your settings. So it's just another way for you to help organize them in a little more detail. So some other things on here, we use AR in my school, so I make sure I have that listed. So a lot of these are just your personal preferences, and I suggest definitely playing around so you find what works for you and try different things. Like try the number of books checked out and see what really fits your particular classroom's needs. So I hope you definitely use Classroom Booksource this year and have a great school year. Thanks for stopping by.